Iran, Hamas leader killed, and the gates of hell may actually have been opened. Yeah, guys, so just hours ago, breaking news and new developments are continuously coming out, and they're actually coming out more and more rapidly as this situation develops here. And so basically, here we are. New developments have been released here in the United States and in the Israel-Gaza war, and the IDF has officially issued a warning calling for all of the civilian population in the northern Gaza Strip to evacuate. This is an urgent warning. We've also got Iranian foreign minister launching a scathing attack on the U.S. and Israel while addressing the United Nations General Assembly. Can you believe this, guys? Iranian foreign minister launching an attack, or at least a scathing attack on the United States. The Pentagon has held a press conference after an Iran-backed attack on the U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria. Netanyahu actually says that the Gaza war has entered a new stage and will be long and difficult. Iran is threatening U.S. on American soil. And get this, Pence bows out of the 2024 presidential race, basically saying that Trump is dominating. The former Vice President Mike Pence said that he would end his bid in a surprise announcement at a gathering of Jewish Republican donors. He said basically it's become very clear to him that it's not his time. Now, we're already seeing the onset of unrest right here in the United States on U.S. soil, where 7,000 pro-Palestinian protesters are literally taking over the Brooklyn Bridge. They're calling for elimination of the Jewish state by any means. At least 7,000 pro-Palestinian supporters and protesters have completely shut down the Brooklyn Bridge during this march that is literally taking place as we speak, as of a few hours ago. The demonstrators are holding signs, and I want to share an article with you guys later in today's video, so definitely stick around for that. Also, if you could do me a quick favor, let me know if you guys can hear me. Drop a quick comment down below. Just let me know that you can hear me. I really appreciate that, guys. So if you guys remember yesterday, I'm sorry about that. Yesterday, I told you guys that Iran may not want a full-blown war with Israel, but it may be dragged into one, right? In addition to that, the U.S. urges Beijing to temper Iran's response to the Israel-Hamas war in an attempt to avoid a World War III scenario. You got U.S. fighter jets having recently struck Iran-linked sites in Syria after attacks on U.S. troops. And as the Israel-Hamas war intensifies, Gaza's phone and internet has literally been cut off. Iran has warned that the U.S. won't be spared if Israel-Hamas's war spreads. And so basically, there's a whole lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack here. And, you know, I know it's a lot to take in, but in recent days, the world has literally just been kind of gripped with a series of developments in this whole Gaza conflict and the ever tense relationship between the United States and Iran. And, you know, these issues are raising a lot of eyebrows. They're sparking debates. And in many cases, a lot of people are concerned about the potential World War III that we could be embarking upon. So that's where we are right now, guys. And there are a lot of new unfolding events that are that we're going to be covering today. You know, we're going to be exploring the different warnings from Iran, the escalating tensions, the responses from the United States, and the possible implications on a global scale. So if you guys are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, wow, we've already got several hundred people in here. Please drop a quick like for the video. I would totally appreciate that. So, yeah. So former Vice President Mike Pence, and actually before I jump into the next thing, I just want to jump in here. Awesome. Got a lot of comments validating that you guys can hear me. I appreciate that. Valiant One, Sebron Tony, Sunita Merritt Terry, Hannah Josiah, Bruce Bonds. I appreciate it. Hannah, don't be scared. I mean, this is just information. It's all about being prepared and informed. So it's not about fear. You know, that's not what we're about. James Moore, thank you for confirming. Dana Scala, Jeff Lee, Jim Folkers. So I appreciate you guys. Missy H, I see you guys. So the former Vice President Mike Pence, he said that he would end his bid in a surprise announcement at a gathering of Jewish Republican donors. He said that it's become clear to him that this is not his time. And so it looks like he's going to be gracefully bowing out and not even pursuing a presidential role going into 2024. Now we're already seeing the onset of the unrest right here on U.S. soil, where 7,000 pro-Palestinian protesters have literally taken over the New York City Brooklyn Bridge, and they're calling for elimination of Jewish state by any means. At least 7,000 pro-Palestinian protesters have shut down the Brooklyn Bridge during a march through the borough just hours ago. And the demonstrators are holding signs. They're headed north along Flatbush Avenue toward the Barclays Center. And then they, of course, converged on the Brooklyn Bridge, stopping traffic. You can't move on that bridge. The Manhattan-bound side this evening has scaled metal barriers, and basically they're kind of waving the Palestinian flags all over and blocking traffic. And it's just wild what's going on over there. You got the NYPD swarming the route with roughly 1,800 police officers, and they're using drones for crowd control. Two NYPD helicopters were also buzzing along the Brooklyn Bridge. So, it's wild. It's like a scene out of a movie. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. The NYPD ordered extra officers to report to the massive crowd to help to contain this crowd, and they were calling them in from their off days. So literally all hands on deck in New York City right now. It's getting concerning. Civil unrest is probably an understatement at this point. Now, by the way, guys, I have a new channel. If you guys are interested in checking that out, I'm going to leave a link for you guys so you can check out the new channel in the description down below this video, as well as a pinned comment. That would be awesome if you guys are interested. Anyway, so Iranian foreign minister tells Biden to back off amid Israel-Hamas war and slam the U.S. for its support to Israel. And they called its actions as clear violations of the charter. He warned that the United States would literally come under fire unless Israel stops bombing Gaza. So that's yet another warning. It's yet another warning. So Israel's commanders have been deployed all over Gaza as the bombardment continues. Hamas says that its fighters are involved in clashes with Israeli forces, and the Hamas-run Health Ministry is estimating at least 400 Palestinian soldiers were wiped out overnight. Aid agencies are saying that they've lost contact with their workers after all of the phones and internet services were destroyed. And of course, heavy artillery is pounding Gaza constantly. The Israelis are saying that they're making the earth shake, and it feels like an earthquake over there with all of the bombing that's taking place. I can't even imagine this. And many of these, sometimes you have to just kind of take a second and think about this. Like, think about where you live right now. These people, millions of innocent people are literally in and around a war scene. Can you imagine, like, where you live, just hearing bombs going off and knowing that people around you are dying? I mean, it's just kind of wild. It's wild when you think about it. Many Palestinians believe that Israel wants to force them out of Gaza, and they interpret it as a threat, not as a warning, when Israel's army tells them again to move south from places like this. As for the Israeli people, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he issued a solemn warning that the war inside the Gaza Strip will be difficult and that it will be long, and that they're prepared for it, and that this is their second war of independence, and that they're willing and ready and prepared to fight for the defense of their homeland. So yeah, and this is the Israeli town closest to Gaza, the streets where Hamas took out civilians and soldiers 3 weeks ago. Today were literally just deserted. No one's there. And the new phase of Israelis' assault started last night with dozens of airstrikes. Israel claimed one of its strikes killed a senior Hamas commander. Israeli tanks and soldiers moved forward into the north of the Gaza Strip. So what's getting interesting now here is that now that these reports are claiming that the leader of Hamas, or at least a senior Hamas commander, has been killed. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out from this point going forward. If the leadership has been taken out for Hamas, so let's see what happens going forward. So, but just hours ago, again, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, I can never pronounce his name properly. Benjamin Netanyahu told the nation that the military has opened a second stage in the war against Hamas by sending ground forces into Gaza and expanding attacks from the ground, air, and sea. And of course, the bombardment described by Gaza residents as the most intense of the war has knocked out telecommunications, phones, internet in the territory late Friday and largely cut off about 2.3 million people from the world. Netanyahu told the nationally televised news conference that Israel is determined to bring back all of the hostages. And of course, everyone's favorite organization, the WHO, so the World Health Organization, appealed to the humanitarian and all of those who have the power to do so to end the fighting now in Gaza, is what they're saying. There are more wounded every hour, but ambulances can't even reach them in the communications blackout. So, yeah. An overwhelming majority of nations, 120 countries, guys, voted on Friday for a United Nations resolution calling for a sustained humanitarian truce in Gaza, even as Israel's military announced it is expanding its ground operations. Now, Israel has voted to continue ground raids over the coming days after ordering this complete siege of Gaza in the wake of Hamas's October 7th terror attack that ended up wiping out more than 1,400 people and saw about 200 people taken to Gaza as hostages. We've got ongoing Israeli airstrikes and, of course, a blockade of life-saving fuel have since sparked dire warnings for the fate of 2 million people who are trapped in Gaza. Israeli airstrikes have eliminated more than 7,000 people in Gaza since October 7th, at least according to the figures that were released earlier this week. It's probably even higher than that as of today. So yeah, and this is a developing story, guys. I'm going to continue to share more and more news and updates with you guys. I just want to jump in the comments real quick, but I also wanted to share an article with you. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for confirming I'm good. Hey, what's going on, Catalia? I see you. Fat Boy Kicks in San Fran. There was just a 4.2 earthquake. Really? There's a 4.2 earthquake in San Francisco? Hold on a second. San Francisco earthquake. I got to look this up right now. I hope you guys are okay out there. Anybody who's watching me from San Francisco. Oh my goodness. Magnitude 3.7 earthquake 1 mile from Millbrae, California, as of 9:38 p.m. today. This is wild, guys. I mean, I feel like there's just something crazy happening like every moment of the day. I can't even keep up with everything. And that's why I just got to thank you guys. So it says here in California, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, a magnitude 3.7 earthquake with an epicenter at the San Francisco International Airport shook the Bay Area on Friday night, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Spokesperson for San Francisco International Airport said the airport conducted runway inspections after 6:38 earthquake and found no damage. Well, at least that's good, because if you have an earthquake, it could literally destroy an airport runway. You don't want to find out as you're approaching takeoff or even landing. SFO is between the San Andreas Fault on the west and the Hayward Fault on the east, making it an active region for earthquakes, according to. Wow, that is horrible. Well, hopefully there weren't any fatalities on that, and thankfully the airport hasn't been damaged. But that's a really bad place to have an airport in between those two fault lines. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you guys. That's why I love this community. I cannot possibly stay on top of everything. You guys put me on game. You keep me on my toes, and I totally appreciate that. Mana Talk says 4.2 is nothing. I lived in Los Angeles. I escaped to West Virginia and now Missouri, a red state. Wow. Dervit says 4.0 last night, 3.7 today at 6 p.m. San Francisco. Wow. So, Eteen, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. Eteen Payette says, what is the main purpose of the United Nations? Maintain international peace and security, protect human rights, deliver humanitarian aid, support sustainable development and climate action. Hey, then James Harden drops a quick update on the gas prices, $4.59 a gallon in Oregon. Wow, you guys are a lot higher than we are. And unfortunately, with all of the continued unrest in the Middle East, we can expect that gas prices will continue to go higher. Oil prices will go higher. I think the highest oil price that we've seen in history was around 150 something dollars per barrel. With what's going on over in the Middle East right now, do not be surprised to see 160, $170 per barrel. In all honesty, with inflation going on, likely some refineries being at risk, I would not be shocked to see $200 per barrel for oil at some point in the near future. So I'm not hoping for that, clearly, but just being aware and trying to be prepared. Jacqueline Green says, I did hear that the people of Gaza tried to move, but when they did, they were met with bombing. Unreal. And it's wild because it's like they're ignoring the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention basically, if I understand it correctly, it basically says you can't bomb hospitals, and they're bombing hospitals. Unbelievable. Revelation, the rumors of war. Sebron Tony says, Good morning, Ron. Jesus is coming according to Jolin Tafoya. Yeah. What's going on, Landon Turner? Come on, guys. Be nice in the comments. Be nice. No need to argue back and forth. Roxanne Galati says, Ron, love you. Prayers to you and the family. Stay safe. Thank you for caring. Right back at you. I really appreciate that, Roxanne. I do appreciate you too. All of you guys are in my prayers. Really quick, I just wanted to quickly touch base on this article, which was kind of like expanding a little bit on the 7,000 pro-Palestinian protester takeover at the Brooklyn Bridge in New York. So freedom by any means, land back by any means, declared Dorian, who is a 24-year-old protester from Queens during the 3-mile flood Brooklyn for Gaza march, which began at 3 p.m. in front of the Brooklyn Museum in Crown Heights, which is not far from the Hasidic, I cannot pronounce this next word, headquarters on Eastern Parkway. Freedom by any means, land back by any means. It's weird to see this because, when I first hear this, I first think about the victims of the Maui wildfires, and it resonates with a multitude of people. I'll say that. He went on to say that he believes the settlers' state of Israel must be taken down. The demonstrators holding signs with, multiple different slogans on them, which I'm not going to read on here. Cops ended up shutting down the traffic on the Brooklyn-bound side as a precautionary measure. Wow. And we were just in New York. Me and the family, we went up to New York. We were up in New York City. We basically stayed in Manhattan the whole time in April, and I just can't imagine being up there today because it's just it's a wild scene right now based on what I'm seeing. One person says, quote, "It's not a question of justified if you are occupied. You just fight back and do what they did. They will fight back." Jason B., a Puerto Rico native living in the Big Apple, reiterated Edwards' sentiment, saying Israel was using the hostages as an excuse to wipe out the Palestinian people in Gaza. Another quote here from Jason says, "I'm in support of the solidarity of the Palestinian people because the genocide of now, I mean, there's been so many times I can push you before you push back, right?" End quote. According to Jason, wearing Palestinian accessories. Two 24-year-old women from Crown Heights marched while holding signs depicting Israeli flags inside the hearts, while claiming they support the movement to defund Israel and for the United States to shred its alliance with the Middle Eastern countries. So you got varying opinions out here, clearly. And of course, the NYPD doing their best to keep the crowds somewhat civil. So lots going on here. Lots going on here. Very, very concerning times. If you guys are, wow, we got almost 500 people in here. If you guys could just drop a quick like for the video, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you support the United States stance on this front, and how much support from the United States should we continue to provide? Is my question to you guys. What do you guys think? Yeah. Okay. So, Etine Payet says, just for your information, to all of you who think that $3, $5, or even $7 a gallon is bad, wait for the gas station to be out of gas, because what's happening in the Middle East, 1973, they were out of gas. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a good point. Would you rather have very expensive gas per gallon? You know, like, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw $10 a gallon for gas. Would you be? I mean, I would rather pay $10 a gallon for gas, and I really don't even want to say this out loud, but it's the honest to God truth. I would rather pay $10 a gallon for gas and have gas to buy than for there to just be a complete gas shortage where gas stations are out of gas, and it don't even matter how much money you have, there's no gas to buy. That would be a very, very problematic situation. And just think, I mean, if there's no gas, people can't get to jobs. A lot of people aren't working from home. By the way, if you guys are interested in learning how to identify work from home opportunities, I left a link for you guys in the description down below this video. But if you don't have a way of making money from your home, then you probably need your car. And if there's no gas stations with gas in them, good luck getting to work. So, and just imagine what that's going to do to the economy. You know, if people can't work, people can't earn, a lot of people, not everyone, then obviously that's going to have a huge impact on people's abilities to pay their bills, to engage in just typical day-to-day activities, making mortgage payments, paying their rent, getting to the grocery stores, Walmart, Kroger, Costco, Aldi, wherever you happen to shop, you know, that kind of thing. So good point. Very good point. Donald, thank you very much. Ron, #1 YouTuber reporter. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you, and thank you for your time too. Thanks for hanging out with me. Brandon Lang says, "Welp, I'm buying an electric scooter then." I actually rented the electric scooters. Me and the family, we were in LA one day, we were in LA, California for like a week, and we ended up renting those. I forget the name of those scooters. I think one was like Lime. There's like a couple of different companies. But anyway, those electric scooters were actually pretty cool. If you ask me to buy an electric car, I'm going to just kind of like walk away because I'm not interested in that. But the electric scooters were pretty cool to me. if you happen to like electric cars, no offense, but it's just not for me. There's a lot of things that need to get worked out before I'd be interested in that. Um, let's see. Shanita Mary Terry says the Holy Land has always been a target, but God's people need to come together and pray, for these are the days of our lives. There, if you are a praying person, I think now is the time. Now is definitely the time to do it. A lot of people are agreeing with me on the passing on the electric cars. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're cool, but I'm just not personally attracted to that yet. I'm not going to say I would never ever in the future, because who knows what the future holds. But right now, I have no interest in one. I don't like how long it takes to charge. There's a lot of problems that they're dealing with, and then of course, if the battery fails, then it's incredibly expensive to get a new one. It's like the cost of the battery is like almost the cost of a new car. So it's like I would rather get a timing belt replacement on a gas powered car and pay like $1,200 to get that service done, as expensive as that is, versus having an electric car and then the battery fails and then being out of warranty, and then the cost of the battery is like $15,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 for a battery for some cars. So nah, I'm good on that. Y'all, they need to figure out a better way. And then it's like, when the battery does fail, like, what do they do with the battery? They're talking about like, this whole green push to help the environment, and it's a whole green energy push. So what happens with the batteries that are bad? How do they discard them? Are they just ending up in a landfill? Because that's not good for the environment. So anyway, I'm gonna digress on that one, but I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Drop me some comments. I'm gonna read them all after the live. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, check out the new channel. I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below. The name of the new channel is called Truth Exposed. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.